everyone. My name is Paula, PSENCreations, where we make beautiful wreaths and signs and centerpieces. So this is my very first live. So we are going to get started with, and I know I don't have anybody live right now, but it'll be there for replays. You have to start somewhere, right? So I don't know if you can see, but it's snowing in Maryland, which is where I am located. So we're going to start today. We're going to make a welcome wreath using, I have no idea how to turn that around. I'll figure it out. This is my first live again. But I made this sign. It's just very rustic. It's black and white. It's very, I guess it would just be rustic, but it has that, you know, the patina on it where it's sanded a little bit more. And so we're going to use this sign, and we're going to use a Dollar Tree wreath, which I will finish off putting the pipe cleaners on with you when I adjust the camera. We are going to be using this fabric gray, and it's like a gray and cream mesh that I actually picked up during the fall season at Joann's. And we're going to pair that with this black and white mesh that I also picked up at Joann's. I believe this was during their Halloween, which would have been fall as well. And the 4 ribbons that I chose, this will be the first time actually that I'm making a wreath that I'm only using 1.5 inch ribbons. Usually I use two 2.5 inch ribbons, and then two 1.5 inch ribbons. So these are the colors that I picked. A little bit of red to have it pop, and of course, you know, I personally love the buffalo check, but I also think that it's very trending. And again, you have this stitching, which is very rustic. I have the gray and the cream, and then I have the red and the white. So yeah. So the method we're going to do today, so I'm going to bring you down so you can see my table. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. So, I'm going to be using what they call the Pancake Method. I did not come up with this method. I'm not exactly sure who came up with it. I know I've seen some other wreathers that in the community that actually talk about this method. And what it is you simply use only 12 pipe cleaners in the entire wreath, and it allows you to use the wreath if you have a storm door. So for example, living here in Maryland, we live more in the northern part of Maryland. I guess it's northern. We're more in the center. I'm horrible with geography. But we do have a screen door or a storm door, and so it prevents the mesh from really, instead of it being poofy this way, it goes out. So that's why they call it the Pancake Method, because it flattens it so that you can put it in a screen door. But anyways, I thought that would be cute to use that. So with the Pancake Method, you have 6 on top, pipe cleaners or Chanel stems, whichever way you call them, and then 6 on the outer. So on the outer, you're simply just going to take the last 2 bars, take your pipe cleaner, and then you're going to twist it as many times as you feel comfortable on the outer 2 bars. And then for the inner, you're taking where the crossbar is on the inner 2, and you're twisting as well. Again, as many times as you feel comfortable and fit. And I'm just going to finish the last 2 sections, which is here. Again, last 2 outer. And crossbar, around the crossbar, around the last 2 inner. Okay, now I'm just going to bend my pipe cleaners in to the center for the inner rings, And then I'm going to expand or open my outer ones, and that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to do a ruffle, and I'm going to continue on. All right, I don't have a lot of room, as you can see here. So I'm going to take my mesh. It's a 10-inch fabric mesh cut to 15 inches in length. I'm going to simply ruffle it. And to ruffle, you literally find the center of your mesh and you just pull the mesh towards you using your 2 pointer fingers. I do love this fabric mesh. It's very nice. It's easy to work with. Now you could have easily cut this longer, but I actually didn't have any more left other than to cut it 15 inches in length. But ideally you might want to cut them at 20 to 30 when you're using this pancake method. And some people curl the bottom edge. Just so that you hide any fraying of the mesh. But fabric mesh doesn't fray really. You'll get little strings, but it doesn't really fray. At least I don't think it does. Okay, so I'm done with the bottom row. When it's only 6, it's so fast. 6 at the bottom. So normally a wreath would have 18 ties total. Obviously the bigger the wreath, the more ties I believe you would have. This wreath frame is 14 inches. I don't know if I mentioned it. It is one of the Dollar Tree frames. Some of these are a little jacked up because I had previously cut them and obviously I did not store them properly. So that's pretty much what it is. They were not looking good. I'll just put it that way. I'm sorry if anybody is on. I cannot see who's on. If you are on, thank you so much for joining me live. Hopefully by my next live, I will have figured out the technology. Technology is great, but it's also can be a bit frustrating as well. So if you did not know, again, my name is Paula, founder of PSENCreations. You can find me on Facebook, PSENCreations. You can find me on Instagram under PSENCreations, and you can find me on YouTube under PSENCreations. And please visit me on those 3 platforms. Please like my page and follow. I share great ideas, make beautiful wreaths, and of course I also have a website if you're interested in purchasing any of my wreaths that you either see me make live, or if you would like a custom order, you can find me on www.psencreations.com. You guessed it. How did I cut? I miscounted something. Or, oh no, there's a roll. Okay. I'm pretty sure I had enough just for 12. Hence another reason why I'm doing the pancake method. Because I really wanted to use this mesh with that sign. But I only had enough to cut 12 at 15. I didn't want to go any lower than 15 inches in length. Goodness. So I can't see the comments, but hopefully I can see them afterwards. Comment if you enjoy making wreaths yourself, or if you actually hang wreaths seasonally or year-round. I've always had some type of, it might not have been a wreath, but I always hang something on my front door year-round. Obviously, Christmas time is for sure a wreath. Some of the other holidays, sometimes it would be something, you know, different. For Easter, I may have hung something with a bunny rabbit. Okay, so that's the base layer of it. And so let's go ahead and do our curls. So I haven't cut all the curls yet, so yeah, you're going to come along and cut some curls with me. So I did cut one, so I'm going to do 10 inches. I'm going to be honest with you guys. All this stuff I have right here, I got them for Christmas. So 10 inches in length. This is a 10-inch mesh. I'm cutting it in 10 inches in length. And I need 12 pieces. I could potentially cut them longer. We'll see how it looks. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Does anybody else have like the mat where you have the line here to cut your mesh, yet you still find a way to cut it crooked, not straight? That's the hardest time saying that word. No? Nobody else? Okay. I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll do 2 curl. I don't know. Let's try 1 curl, see what it looks like. I'm wearing the wrong shirt for this type of mesh because it just sticks on. And I do have an apron. I just haven't put it on. Okay, so I'm simply going to take my mesh. Sorry, guys. I adjusted you earlier. So I'm going to take my mesh and I'm just going to curl it. So it's in a curl, and then I'm just going to pinch and just tie it in. Yeah, we'll do 1. There are some wreaths that you can add more to. There are some that, you know, you just want to keep simple. It's whatever your preference is. Obviously, if you're making a custom wreath, you're going to do what the request is from the customer. If you're just making one for, oh my gosh, seriously. We just, okay. So again, I know I can't see comments, if anybody's even on. I can't even see if people are on. Pretty much just talking to myself at this point. That's okay though, right? Sometimes you have to do that. Who else goes to their craft room or their craft corner or whatever it is, wherever it is that you craft, and just potentially just talk to yourself or talk through different design options or choices? I enjoy coming into my craft room, which is really our guest room, but no guests can come now because I have too many crafts supplies in it. But I enjoy coming in and watching other crafters, other wreath makers, while I'm working on my own design. Does anybody else do that? Okay, so I'm simply just curling it, pinching it in the middle, adding it to my twist tie. I'm not reopening my twist ties. Some people do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the mood I'm in. So the next step we're going to do is the ribbon. Never fails. So who scored some deals with after Christmas sales going on? I know they're pretty much over with. You know, I was surprised that a lot of my stores nearby had so much left over still. Like, well into the first week of January. In the past years, if you would go like the 27th of December, like they would be picked clean. But this year, there was a number of stores that I went to and they all had, I mean, we went to a few stores on Saturday, what was Saturday? The 4th of January, something like that? I can't remember, 3rd, 4th of January. And they still had Christmas clearance items. That, I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. So I'm not sure what attributed to that. Was it that people did a lot more online shopping? Was it that stores definitely had more sales throughout the year? I mean, throughout the Christmas season. So it was like, you know, you weren't getting that great of a deal post-Christmas. All right. So you can add a little bit more if you want to. But here's what we have so far. So now we're just going to add our ribbons, and simply what I'm going to do is I have them cut to 12 inches in length. I will dovetail the ends, and then I will probably pair them like this. So I'll do the black and white checkered with the red stitched, and then I'll do the red and black checkered with the gray stitched. I think that will look good instead of doing this. I think this is just too matchy. Yeah, we're gonna do that. All right. Okay. I've seen people dovetail different ways. I've seen some people where they actually cut a little triangle out, and then obviously majority of the people do this way. And then you get that beautiful. This is why I don't like doing it personally like that, because one's bound to be all jacked up. One or more. What is this? It's not even a triangle. I'm not sure what that was. I should have had this done beforehand. It's very time consuming. Well, it's not very time consuming, but when it's your first live, you feel like you have to rush. Maybe that's just me. This ribbon is beautiful. I'll tell you, I got this ribbon at Walmart. And speaking of after Christmas deals, this was one of the things that I was able to find was this ribbon. It's not expensive to begin with. And then I was able to get it after the season. At a better price. Okay, almost done. Not really. So a little bit about me. My name is Paula. I have a husband. We have a daughter. Our daughter is in the Army. She is currently in Korea. She's our only child. We are very proud of her. And we have a German Shepherd named Allie. I won't tell you my daughter's name because that's more personal. So on occasion you might hear a bark because Allie's very protective of the house. God forbid somebody walk by. I will tell you something that she does not like, and maybe it's all dogs. She does not care for the Amazon man, woman. She does not care for UPS, FedEx, any of those types of vehicles. And I think part of it is because, you know, she sees them. She sits and looks out the front window all day long. And I think she sees these people, strangers, going up to people's, you know, to neighbors' front doors, including our front door as well, when we get deliveries. And she just doesn't like that whole concept. Okay, all done. Let me get my trash can. All right. Let's bring this down. Okay, so I'm simply going to, what should we do? Should we do it like this? You're going to bend in, find the middle. You're going to pinch. Make it a little birdie, and then put it in a twist tie. And for the stems, the pipe cleaners, I'm sorry, some people cut them off, some people keep them. I do flip-flop, you know, sometimes I keep them, sometimes I cut them off. It just depends on the mood that I'm in. And I think I'm gonna, I don't know if I should, oh, we'll do it this way. So now I'm just going to take my other two color combination, pinch in the middle. Look how beautiful this wired ribbon is. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So I recently joined Damon's Inner Circle, Damon Oates Deco Exchange, for those that may not know. And I am going to really take advantage of all that they teach to really make sure that I am as successful as I can be for everyone, including myself, obviously. But part of that is making, you know, goals, setting goals, and then, you know, working towards achieving those goals. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to set goals and work towards them. I do love these colors. They're different, they're unique, you know? It's not bad to be different and unique sometimes. Hell, all the time. Heck, if I would have known, if I knew what I knew now, I think a lot of us say that, right? If I knew what I knew now when I was younger, just would have been one of those things. right? Wouldn't necessarily care what other people thought. And I laugh because when my daughter was younger, well, when they got to a certain age, you know, I think back to, God, we would have never been comfortable like wearing, that we'd be embarrassed as can be wearing different socks, right? Oh, hi. Oh, ah! Hi, Laura. I'm making a wreath. This is my first live. What do you think so far? By the way, I have to text you because I've been meaning to congratulate you. And I will text you so that we can get together. For coffee, of course. You are very brave, my friend. Congratulations to you and Mark, by the way. And I say you're brave because starting over is not something that I would be able to do, but well deserved. I know you guys will do so wonderful together, and I'm sure Lee is ecstatic as well. I can't even handle a dog, let alone starting something else over, if you know what I mean. I lose track very easily what I'm doing. As you all should be very excited. It's a true blessing that I'm extremely happy for you all. All right. We are almost done. Not at all. I remember when you used to do things for Leah's party and stuff, when she would have different themed parties, you were very crafty. By the way, your little one is going to get a very unique gift from me because I am a little craftier nowadays than I ever was in my life. I'm trying to think of a good gift, a unique little onesie that fits y'all's likings. And by that I mean mythical, Harry Potter, stuff like that. Haven't really come up with something just yet, but it's coming. God, what am I doing here? You'll be surprised. I've been trying to think of unique things. Yes, that's exactly what we are. Wait, who's lucky? Oh, you and Mark? You're not dorks. Wait, you're... How did I miscount? Did I miscount? I lost a ribbon. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Ah, is it really? Ha! How's that? Thank you. Well, that probably won't be a keeper. First time doing it. I'll get the hang of it eventually. Oh, I cut one extra ribbon. That's why. Okay. All done. Alright, and here's my sign. And I got this handy dandy thing a while ago. My husband's very tool oriented, so sorry, this is gonna be loud. Voila. Yes, staple gun. It's an electric one, a Ryobi. Or a battery operated one, I guess. It's really cool. Works great. One thing I haven't mastered yet is fluffing my ribbon. Right. I guess. What do you use it for? Or you just got one and you haven't used it yet? Curling my pipe cleaners rather than cutting them off. I may go back and cut them off. I don't know. Oh, cool. So has this one been different than the first one? I just don't want to mention it. I could. You're the only one on, so, but. Have you had new sicknesses or different sicknesses or cravings? Ah. Ah, dang. Wait, did you find... I like apples. Well, at least it's something good for you. It'd be worse if you'd be like, I like donuts. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying donuts are the worst, but... Not a bad thing. Might come back, I'm sure, afterwards. So did you guys find out the gender, or are you keeping it a surprise? Knowing you, are you planning a big gender reveal, or did you plan a big gender reveal already? Jeez Louise. So awesome. have to imagine that Mark is just over the moon. I know he loves Leah, but every man wants a boy. That is so awesome. Not that you were 4 months along, but so exciting for you. Well, as long as you're healthy, the baby's healthy, everything's good, then no harm done. All right, all done. And it's, well, comes backwards probably, but. All right, cool. It's done. I'm a hot mess. Well, thanks for joining me today on my live.